In regards to the game, I just thought, you know what? Treat it like a crime scene. Take out all the feelings and thoughts and just look at the facts. So with that said, on Friday night, the 30th of June at approximately 8:40 p.m. in the Auckland suburb of Penrose, 17 hooligans dressed in red and green clown costumes ran riot at a well-established local venue. Local eyewitnesses say there were mass casualties. Even the local emergency services struggled to contain the onslaught, even though as even the weather decided to play the bad guy for the night. However, local authorities have stated that they will not rest until the culprits, the lawbreakers, the criminals, are brought to justice. There will be an outcome pending further investigations.
Oh,
that was my feeling about Friday night, bro.
Yeah, brutal game. Shocking weather conditions. Bunnies played amazing. One of their best games of the season. The defense was outstanding. The completion rate in those conditions was amazing. Cody Walker, Damien Cook in particular, just tore off the park. Biggest loss of the season for the Warriors. But there are also some bullshit fucking calls in there too.
Yeah.
So give some credit to those.
Even I agree. Well, NRL-Blake, I thought that wasn't a sin bin anyway, in my opinion. That was pretty harsh.
And even the Wade Egan charge down, I didn't think that was a charge down either. He was looking to make the tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess before the game I was feeling quite confident that we could actually do it. I think I had the game a bit closer, saying I think it was like 4 points, I think I said on the last video. But then throughout chat, I was like, nah, actually a few players out, actually might be a bit of a blowout. But it didn't actually go that way. I guess the benefit is I was meant to go to the game, but I had Mahi down in Hamilton, and maybe I was lucky not to be able to witness it with you guys. But everyone's already said what happened with the game. I do think it was one of our worst performances, but there was still a few kind of patches in there that I think showed that we could still be a force in this competition. But yeah, there's a lot more, I guess, lowlights for us to reflect on this week than highlights. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll see the Eels next week.
Me and Tarns were at the game.
So me and my muko actually left in the 60th minute because it was just fucking too cold for my muko. So we left, but the game, well, to be honest, everybody, I couldn't see a fucking thing because I wear glasses. So honestly, it was like driving a car and it's pissing down with rain, but your window wipers are broken. So I couldn't see fuck all, and it's totally different watching it live. Totally different because you've got so much, there's just so much else going on. But apart from that, I put it down to the weather conditions, and there was just something off about the boys. And me and you, Nick, was saying even when Dallin got that, charge down, runaway try, but it ended up being a knock on, that he wasn't even, he looked really tired. I don't know.
Yep, no, you're absolutely right. There's more lowlights than there is highlights. I think, team. I want to be real honest, all right? The highlight for me in that whole game was when we ran out onto the field and the lights went down and the fireworks came on. I'm going to be real. That was the highlight of the whole game for me. And when they came running out and you hear the whakarunga mai, and I was just like, yeah, bro, this is our house. Then for the first 10 minutes, after the 10 minutes, it was no longer our house anymore. It was just like, yeah. So, yeah, look, that was a highlight for me. Rabbitohs came, they came here, they absorbed pressure. They came running out there pretty confident. They've got a lot of fans in this country. They've got a lot of fans here. And I was actually looking up at East Stand, and it was just like, green, patches of green and red, patches of green and red. And because look over at the South Stand, there were fans over there as well. So, they all come out, and you could see them after the game as well, hanging around the bus area to come and clap on their heroes.
All the criminals.
Yeah, as if you want to call them, you want to call them that. You want to call them that. But at the same time, I think we need to move away from this blaming the weather thing, because they played in the same weather. And I said the same thing after the Roosters game when people were blaming the weather. I said, yeah, but they played in the same weather and we couldn't even score a try. So lots to work on. Uncle Anaru, I have full trust in Uncle Anaru. I think even he came out and said we went away from our game plan.
Yeah.
And we try to go around them instead of going through them. Chalk this one up as a bad night at the office. Is it our worst performance of the whole season? I hope so. I hope there's not another game as bad as that. But yeah, chalk this one up and we move on.
Okay, so we have got Damien up first. Drum roll, please.
Ooh, drum roll even.
Yeah, drum roll. Damien's going to be giving us his, player ratings. He's going to do our wingers and our centres, so from 2 to 5. So, what's on the board, Miss Ford? I'll hand it over to you, Damien.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, it was a rough night at the office for the boys. We'll start off with DallinWatene-Zelezniak, who had probably one of his worst games so far this season, in my opinion. Failed to catch a kick, which eventually led to a Rabbitohs try. Knocked on, which would have been a Warriors try if he had caught it. But he had 2 tackle breaks, 5 tackles, but 3 missed tackles, 99 metres, and he 2 kicks diffused. So I've given him a 5.5.
Nice. Nice, bro.
Nice.
Next up, we got Rocco Berry. I thought he had a pretty quiet night. He had 1 tackle break, 25 tackles, no missed tackles, so that's solid.
Nice.
But he only made 38 metres and he had 1 error. Again, quiet night, so I've given him a 5 out of 10. Moving on to Adam Pompey. I thought he had a pretty good game, like Adam. He had a try assist, a line break assist, 24 tackles with no misses.
Sure.
2 errors, but weather conditions, and 99 metres. So I've given him a solid 7 out of 10.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
Marcelo Montoya, pretty good game. He got a try, 1 line break, 6 tackles with no misses. One of the tackles was a try-saving tackle where he forced the Rabbitohs player out of the ground. Right. 5 tackle breaks, 2 errors, 105 metres gained, 2 kicks diffused. So I've given him 7.5 out of 10. Collectively, that averages out to 6 out of 10, which probably not good enough NRL standard.
Fuck, that's fuck all meters. Shit. And do you think Dallin ran 200 and over 200 last week?
Yeah, just less opportunities, I think.
Yeah.
Becomes more of a forward game with a shit like that, So.
But even in the first half, Dallin and Chance, and we've been used to seeing them take early hit-ups. They didn't get involved till well after the 5-minute mark. Might have been 7 minutes before Dallin took his first hit-up. And I was like, wow, where's he been? Even Chance was, they were quiet. They were quiet, bro.
I did say on the group chat like last week, I was like, man, they have to be careful of that connection between Cody Winter and Alex Johnson. Like we all know that they're going to go out that way, and they did. And I was screaming in the stand. I was screaming, "Fuck! They're going to Alex!"
You called it. You called it, Tans. You called it. We were sitting right there, and Tans was yelling at them. Watch that! Watch that prick! 2 seconds later, it's a try.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next, Rio, we're coming over to you, bro, with the forwards or the hooker. So from 8 to 13.
8 to 13.
Yes, so yep.
Yeah, so the forward pick. That was a hard one. For me, so AddinFonua-Blake, time on the paddock, on the actual playing field. He was out there for 58 minutes, ran for 139 metres. That was 14 hit-ups, 56 post-contact metres, made 26 tackles, missed 1, but he breached the line 3 times. So he poked his head through, and he was he for me was probably our best forward Friday night. He was and I think it might have been our very first set of defense. He put a hit on. I think it was Johnson, but he was amped. And the time he was out there, the time he was out there, he was doing the yardies. So for me, Aiden, despite the conditions, And I felt like he was working his ass off, so he got an 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice.
Bunty, his front row partner, he was only out there. He was only out on the paddock for 37 minutes, but in that time, he ran for 79 meters. That was 10 hit-ups, 29 post-contact meters, made 26 tackles and 0 misses. You know, so I was listening to a podcast this week, and they're talking about how Bunty is solid in defense, and that's what he brings to the table every time. Yeah, and he punched the line once for in that time that he was out there. So for me, he was second after Aiden, and I gave him a 7.5 out of 10. My second row is Jackson. Jackson played the entire game, so he played 80 minutes. Ran for 87 meters. That was 9 hit-ups, 42 post-contact meters, made 51 tackles, and missed 1. Yeah.
Good tackle, man.
Yeah.
What a fucking OG.
Yeah. Tackling machine.
That's good, man.
Yeah. So you know, even just you can forgive him for the 1 missed tackle. And he punched the line 3 times, so they had tackle breaks. He was poking his head through both halves. Mitch, Big Barney, he was out there for 69 minutes. Ran for 130 meters. That was 11 hit-ups. 57 post-contact meters. Made 39 tackles, which is a good number. It's a good contribution. But missed 5. So yeah, and breached the line twice. And Mitch for me got a 6.5, but that was because first half he dropped the ball, an inside cut pass from Johnson from SJ, and in the second half he threw the forward pass to Chance. So yeah, and Tohu, our last man down, played for 71 minutes. Ran for 125 meters. That was 9 hit-ups. 62 post-contact meters. Yeah, made 51 tackles and no misses. So you know, yeah. So him and Jackson were right up there. Yeah, but again, Tohu, that's pretty much his standard. He's out there tackling and doing what he has to do. And he didn't breach the line either there when we're on attack. So yeah, so I guess the average for our forwards was probably more closer to 7 as a pack, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, we definitely missed Marata and old Josh Curran.
Curran.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just 2 guys. I mean, it's not just 2 players, but you know, that's over 200 kgs, just a little over 200 kgs of strength and power as well that we missed in the forwards, eh? So that's a bummer.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, the Rabbitoh forwards, they're monsters. They're 4 packers.
I mean, even Saliba Havili's fucking a big boy for a hooker, man. Yeah. You know, Tiny Milne, you know, you name it. They've got a big forward pack, man.
Yeah.
But where are we up to now? Ty, we're moving over to you, brother, on the spine.
Cool. I'm just going to preface and say that, you know, I knew I was going to have the spine coming up, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to give them the lowest score in the world. But I went on, rewatched the game, and...
wait till the interchange.
And I realized, you know, it wasn't as bad. Now, I guess when I say it wasn't as bad, I think, personally, I think this was the spine's worst performance of the year. There was just a lot of things that they just didn't get right. But when watching it back, there was a lot of things that were shown through other games that we did do okay. It's just we versed a slicker and better team. You know, if I was here talking about the Rabbitohs spine, there'll be a whole nother scoreboard for tonight. But just to kind of go with the first person, obviously our fullback Charnze, probably wasn't. I'm not going to say it wasn't his best game. Obviously, we just didn't see everything we've seen in the other games. But when I was watching it, it wasn't like he did anything different. He actually was quite solid. He did get driven back a few times. It wasn't like he was quiet. It's just they didn't give him any chance to shine. So I can't fully blame him for the effort, because he was always, every time he had their ball, he was trying. They just shut him down. So for me, because I honestly think between him and Johnson and AddinFonua-Blake, they're running at 8.59s most weeks. So that's kind of where I kind of consider him most weeks. But I think for this week, and Damien, you inspired me to do something. I'm gonna give the bro a 7.
Oh,
nice. Did all right.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, he did all right this week. It wasn't himself, but he wasn't the most terrible person out there. So yeah, thanks Damien for inspiring me. I thought I'll do something a bit different.
Nice one, bro.
Cool,
But in terms of stats, 118 meters, I think he averages a lot more during games, but obviously we can blame the wet. But he had no missed tackles. So for a team that, you know, was on the wrong side of the scoreline, they didn't break too much, but he didn't actually really miss tackles, so that's cool. But yeah, I thought he was solid even, but he wasn't obviously his main self that he has been in the other weeks. Moving on to our 6, Metcalf. Feel tough scoring this guy because I don't think he's the one that, you know, we look to. Is obviously looking at Shaun Johnson to kind of run the park, so he's only going to get flashes and touches here and there. He did have a few good runs, but that was it. You know, don't really remember him from the game. And again, he plays the second fiddle to Johnson, so he's not going to always get those opportunities. But you know, if you think about Elias and also Cody Walker, it felt like both of them were, you know, getting fair share of their ball and doing something with it. So with this week, I've had to give Metcalf a 5, just purely off, you know, just a few good runs, and that was all kind of to talk about. And in terms of stats, yeah, there wasn't really anything to scream about in the stats as well. So that's what I gave Metcalf this week. In terms of Shaun Johnson, obviously probably not his best game this year. Sometimes he actually looked a bit, I wouldn't say shaken, just sometimes he was questioning his decisions, which we haven't seen much of that this year. Hey, was it the rain? Was it the cold? Maybe there was just something a little bit off with them. But yeah, it wasn't Shaun Johnson's best game. In terms of stats, 458 kick meters. I don't know how much he averages during the year, but I think that sounds similar to what he's doing, even though it's in the rain. But there were a lot of kicks that just went up and then went down. Like there was just, you know, felt like there was a little bit of lack of intention with some of those kicks. And, you know, again, what could you do? Also, the penalty for offside. I think that's, you know, someone that's played in a half position. Every time I did that, I used to get crucified from the boys because you're not doing all the hard work. So for him to be offside on a penalty, you know, the boys doing their hard work into course, I think it was round 4 for 5th tackle too. You know, those can be coach killers. Few errors, and then you had that missed tackle on Walker that led to that try. And again, all that. But I think alarming stat, yeah, there was 3 missed tackles. I don't think he usually does the amount of missed tackles. I might be wrong. So
I think I saw him shoot out of the line a few times, and like fucking.
And maybe it's because he was shooting because there was a bit of, you know, lack of trust of insides or outsides. I don't know, but yeah, they just seemed a little bit different with his game. So this week I've given SJ a 6. Again, he was doing something, but I don't think it was his best game. Again, I see him sitting around 8.59 most weeks, so this is a big drop consideration for what he's used to bringing for the Warriors. And then for 9, Wade Egan, 49 tackles, 46 run meters. I know he's not really a runner, but I think we needed to kind of see him jump out of the line a bit more. Like if anyone wants to watch how a hooker plays, man, the way that Damien Cook was playing, just kind of drawing in the markers, you know, just mixing it up, variations, like it was amazing. And you could just see him working with the forwards. Those rabbits were getting up the field, man. So in comparison to Cook, you know, I think Wade Egan's always going to tackle his heart out. Obviously that kind of short side play worked out in the kind of first kind of 10 minutes, but they tried it a couple more times and it didn't. But yeah, I just think there's just a little bit of X factor compared to someone like Cook. And I think, you know, we're going to need something like that come final. So let's just hope that he can work that into his game. But for me, I gave him a 6 this week. I think he runs around a 7.58. I don't think it was a bad game because he tried his heart out, but, you know, I think we just need a bit more from him, especially if he's the one in the center kind of ruling the field. And yeah, truth is, spine average obviously 6 out of those scores. I think it was probably the worst performance from our spine. And there was just times where they would even get confused. I think there was one where just a couple of those backline plays just weren't working out. So I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the hype got to them this time. I don't know what it really was, but there was just something a little bit lackluster about their game this weekend. Yeah, That's how I read
Yeah.
this.
I thought it was interesting because Wade was out there for the whole game, but we had Lussick on the bench, and it was like, waiting for the coach to just waiting for him to come on and give Wade a break or whatever, just kind of mix it up a bit. But it just didn't happen.
It was strange.
Yeah, I think that was a wasted player on the bench, to be honest.
Yep.
You know,
Get
like
another big buffer on there instead.
Someone else on there that utilised that bench position better, but so that was a bit of a pity. But anyway, let's move on. It is what it is. Right, Nick, we are handing it over to you for the final judgment, and you are going to rate our bench.
Yeah. So we just covered it. Lussick was just there warming up the bench, sitting in the pissing down rain, with a towel over him. That would have been soaked all the way through anyway, but he never actually got on there. Why that is, we don't know. Uncle Anaru's the coach, so and Uncle Anaru we trust. So the only three players I've really got to judge on is Dylan Walker, Bailey Surinam, and Tom Ale. Before I get into those guys, neither of them made a line break. Neither of them, there were no tackle breaks either. I do want to start off with Dylan Walker. Tyrone, I know he's a smoky for you, and he has been an exceptional buy for us. My scores are not judging the dude on every game. It's just really talking about the game that's in front of us, right? All these scores are exactly the same, right? So brother had 44 minutes, and he had 7 runs. Of those 7 runs, he made 60 meters, 39 tackles. And I suppose the highlight here is 100% tackle efficiency, with 0 errors. So quite a safe. He's safe. He's safe. Obviously, he can only play with what he's got. But for 44 minutes, I would have expected more runs. But it's easy for me to say, sitting in the comfort of my own home, expecting more from our players. So I gave him a 5 out of 10. Bailey Surinam, I think we all agree at his best game against the Dragons, scoring that try. He was at right place, right time. He only got 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, he only got 2 runs.
Wow.
Out of those 2 runs, he did make 22 meters. Brother did 16 tackles. Highlight of it is that there was 100% tackle efficiency and again 0 errors. So based on that, I'm giving him a 4.5 out of 10. And the young gun Tom Ale got 11 minutes and touched the ball twice. Right, so he touched the ball twice, made us 15 meters, 11 tackles. Again, the highlight of all these guys is 0% tackle efficiency, did not miss a tackle, and also 0 errors, so he didn't knock it on or didn't. But I don't see any reason why I should give him more than Bailey Surinam, so he's on 4.5 out of 10 as well. And again, out of these 3, no line breaks, no tackle breaks, nothing really to report home about. Lussick, unfortunately, didn't come on. He just sat on the sideline.
I did notice when Surinam come on, because I think he came on when we were defending our goal line, and he was putting some pretty good shots on. And it's like, that's the one, bro. Bit of mongrel in there. But again, it just highlighted the when Uncle Anaru was using our subs, and and kind of it made me question the whole. Could have. I mean, in hindsight, could he have brought them on sooner, or could he have rotated those players at different times? Just putting it out there, bro.
Wow, man, I was just thinking about this guy he's on a couple of the Warriors fan pages on Facebook. So Mark Roberts, if you're watching this, now I understand, bro, why stats actually do matter. So because those stats that you guys are reading out, they're fucking huge, man. The difference is huge from previous weeks, eh? Running meters, tackle breaks, huge. So that explains a lot of why we lost then. You can just, just in those stats alone. I mean, even Yeah, weird, because Ali got, what did you say, 11 minutes? And I mean, Bunty, I think, must have played the most minutes he's played all season in that game.
Yeah, he was on for a while.
He was on for 37.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the most he's played all year, eh?
I'd say so.
Yeah, and when he came off as well, I was like, what are you bringing him off for? I thought he was doing quite well.
Yeah, he was solid, bro.
I do think, for me, one of the, I think, little concerns was at the end. Things weren't going our way. I think we were dropping the ball a bit, and there was that one where they went short side again. But the attitude a little bit looked like we were not giving up, but it kind of looked like we were giving up. And I'm like, we haven't seen that any of the weeks. That was a little bit concerned from the left-hand side, especially. So again, I feel like it's, I've been personally loving this year that we've been fighting to the end, no matter what the scoreline is, fight to the end. So it's a little bit disheartening to see when things were going their way. There was just a little bit of throw it in the bin. And I hope that doesn't creep in. I hope Mr. Webster calls that out and hopefully gets them to play to the end.
Yeah, because I mean the other side to that was so Ashley Klein. He actually didn't have that bad a game, but there were some blatant calls, and we get them. I guess we haven't had those blatant calls as much over the last month, but Friday night, some of them were just like, wow, really, bro?
But at the same time, man, we made 13 errors to their 3, so we don't do ourselves any favors as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Rabbits played amazing to their credit.
Yeah, bro.
Does it rain a lot in Sydney?
It does.
Whatever they do, they had it on lock, and I just think, fuck, man, we live in New Zealand.
We're supposed to be.
We don't get 4 seasons in New Zealand; we get 2, and that's fucking hot and cold.
Yeah.
So our boys have got work to do, and they know it. They'd be gutted, but
do you think expectation and kind of mindset is we've been guilty of this in the past, kind of expectation. Do you think that might have? I'm not making excuses. Look, we got asses handed to us by the Rabbitohs. I'm not trying to make excuses for the boys, but do you think the expectations, 3 wins in a row, coming off a bit of a run, expectation
we get
came
a
up?
bit complacent, we're all good. We're we're fifth on the ladder now. We don't have to go out there and try so hard. I don't know. I don't know the reason why. I mean, they all just looked a bit. I mean, just like I said before, actually, just going off the stats, it speaks fucking volumes to where we've been all season, and those stats are really poor. So it's not cool. Not at this time of the season anyway. You do not want stats like that.
I wouldn't think it was complacency, because everyone knows the Rabbitohs are a quality outfit. It's not like we were taking on one of the bottom place teams. So I don't know what it was, but that's up to the coaches to sort out and fix pretty quick, because we've got a pretty big game coming up this weekend.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get to watch the whole interview, but I caught a bit of the post match with Webby, and he was talking about how, Nick, you mentioned it earlier, but the boys had gone away from the game plan, so he definitely had a game plan ready for the Rabbitohs. And in that first 20 minutes of the first half, we were actually still in it. But it was pretty even. I just thought it was an interesting comment from Webby about the whole, the boys come away that second half. They came away from the game plan. So whatever his game plan was that he was trying to implement, whether it was the conditions or the shitty calls or whatever, or the Rabbitohs just getting on top of us.
I think you hit it right there. I was about to say that the Rabbitohs getting on top of us, psychologically getting to us. So when teams celebrate over any little thing, it's a psychological headfuck. For a lot of teams. Like we saw the Dragons try to do it last week, but then they got blown away. Right? It's like, we tackled someone. We're all gonna go and celebrate. But that's all part of the mind tricks. Hey, that's all part of them. That's all, and I think if it happens again and again and again, it starts wearing down the opposition psychologically. Anyway, I've got to eat my words. That young kid Munro, 18-year-old debut who was marking up on Dallin. Hey, bro, amazing game. You know, I've got to eat my words and say, bro, I thought he was going to have a long night at the office. No, it was Dallin that had a long night at the office.
Yeah.
So you know, big ups to him for where he is, and bro, he's going to be a, well, if you guys can hold on to him, he's going to be a good player for you guys, bro.
Yeah, I reckon too. I thought he played well too. There was this one. I remember that. I think Sean Johnson put up a pretty big boot and it came down, and I was like, oh no, you better catch it, and he caught it too. And that was quite a mean catch too. I think he sort of slid into it and he put his body on the line and caught it too. So I thought that was pretty cool on his debut. And then scored a try, and he didn't really make any mistakes from what I thought. He had a really good game actually. Especially late notice with all like Campbell Graham and our centres getting pulled out of the game too. Yeah. You know, so our sort of backline that's what made me nervous, because we had both our centres are gone. You know, Lachau was gone, and then everyone, you know, Munro debuting, and a few, you know, people out of position. So, but they pulled it off.
I mean, that's just testament to your team, though, bro. You know, like we had a depleted Broncos team come to Napier. You know, well, you know, everyone's thinking, oh, you know, state of origin, they're coming over here. Nah, it's not like that. You know, they've got the systems in place. Everyone knows their job. Everyone does their one job really, really well. So, you know, hats off to the Rabbitohs for sure.
Munro reminds me of young Nathan Merritt coming through.
Oh, yeah.
So lucky for you Rabbitohs fans.
I think Montoya done that try-saving tackle on him. You know, but even then, the young fella didn't look phased. He just kind of got up. His teammates got around him, and they just carried on. You know, so yeah, no, he had a good game, that young fella.
But we all know that when Cody Walker's on, he's on. When Cody Walker's on, he plays
He played himself in the Origin selection.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he's one of the best fucking. He's one of the best in the whole comp, and he has been for a long time, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree too.
One thing that was very interesting. I don't know if this has been Rabbitohs' game plan every week. I don't watch it that intensely, but I did notice that if foot coming out of the hooker was mixing it up, and sometimes our markers were just not reacting fast enough. You know, he kept them really on notice, and then if they didn't kind of you know, jump to his side, he got a few meters or was able to give their ball off. But then also Rabbitohs were doing this kind of thing where they're passing to the forwards, but the second row would give their extra pass, but it was moving our forward pack across. And you'll see some of the sets, they get way down the field, not because they're necessarily just running hard, it's just they were just doing one extra tip pass all the way through, all the way down. And I wonder if that's a little bit, not a concern, but for us Warriors, our forwards getting moved around like that, you know, led to some of it breaking down and going to, you know, scoring tries. I think there was one in particular where Michael Cheekham bumped Wade Egan, got a bit injured, and he went to the wrong side, and then it was just like we were just collapsed on the other side, and Murray went through. But there was so many times where we collapsed because just how the Rabbitohs were moving us. I wonder if defensive coaching will look at that in terms of how do we stabilize our middle. That's what I could see. We were getting moved in that middle a lot.
Because you know, like the Rabbitohs, like I was just thinking about it earlier today, like, we played the Sharks twice, haven't we? And we've played the Cowboys, and they were all top 8 or top 4 teams last year. And they are, well, the Sharks still up there, but I think, apart from Melbourne and Penrith, but Rabbitohs, I mean, definitely our hardest game of the year, you know, and I lost track of thought just then.
Nah, all good. But I
was going somewhere with that corridor, but then I don't know, I lost it.
I'll jump on that corridor and say it's pretty fucking tight for Arno at the moment where we're sitting. You know, we just saw the Cowboys just fucking thrashed. Tigers, was it, or Bulldogs?
Yeah,
I don't
Tigers.
know. Tigers got thrashed. So they've rocketed up. Like I think they're just below us. Rabbitohs are just in front of us, and I think Titans are just below the Cowboys. And I think the Raiders are up there as well. So it's real tight. So we're going to be going over to Parramatta to play them. And you know the table. I mean, We're still in the top 8 now. If we go over there and lose, then I don't know where we're going to end up.
Yeah.
That was probably the only good thing that came out of the weekend, bro. After Friday,
What's that?
that other 3 teams got fucking smashed, and so it kind of puts some context on our scoreline. At least we got 6 points. They only got 28 points on us. Those other 3 results.
Is that the light at the end of the tunnel?
It was for me, bro.
So last week we were talking about these next 4 games we're going to win all 4 of them, and now we're talking about the light at the end of the tunnel that we got 6 points.
I reckon,
So what's the next real quick? The Eels. We got the Eels as a sad day. Then Eels what?
Sharks. Eels, Sharks, and Raiders.
And then Raiders.
Those are some hard games. Those are going to be hard games.
Oh,
yeah, bro.
It didn't sound like hard games last week, Tyson. You should have heard us.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, we were booking tickets to the grand final. We were booking tickets to the grand final last week.
Wow. Because we're all saying, Gutherson's out, Moses is out, fucking RCG's out for Origin. But it's like, bro, actually...
That don't mean nothing.
Well, that might be all true, but look what happened with the Broncos. So
that means nothing, cuz.
We can't, nothing at all.
That means absolutely nothing now. This competition's so tight.
Other players getting opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the boys letting this slip through their fingers, though. Like, I just can't imagine them... like not pulling their fucking socks up and playing hard.
Well,
as fuck.
Here's a question: Have we peaked too soon?
No, I don't think so.
No.
You reckon?
There wasn't a peak, I don't think.
I've seen a few posts, even a few comments. People are like, "Oh, maybe we're not final contenders." I'm like, "Oh, get fucked! Yes, we are. I don't care what anyone says. I think we're fucking all good to make the top 8, but that just depends on the boys on the day. And I just think after that beating on Friday, hopefully they just fucking, just realise that, bro, like we're here for a fucking reason, and that's because we're playing good footy. And just to go back to basics, really, because that's what fucked them up is just basics.
I think the Warriors need to bounce back this weekend. I reckon if they can bounce back this weekend, I think you fellas will be all good. But I think if they lose another one, it's going to be pretty hard. So I think they need to turn up this weekend for you to move forward.
But I suppose we'll see tomorrow when our team lists a release day. Like, it'll be interesting to see them anyway. I'm wondering if SJ is going to be there. Obviously, Marata and Karen are gone. Karen's not going to be there for the Eels clash. So I'm wondering who's going to line up on our bench, and maybe we should bring up some of the big front rowers from New South Wales Cup, maybe, just to fill that spot while Marata and Karen are out.
Why is Sean Johnson questionable? I did read the headline, but didn't see the details.
Baby.
His missus is due to have a baby.
True. If he's not playing, we're screwed, I reckon.
Yeah.
We got this. We got this, guys.
Positivity.
Keep the faith.
Volkman's had a couple of games in the Prems, Metcalf has, and that's what I mean. It'll be interesting to see the lineup tomorrow to see who the halves are for Parramatta, because Dylan Brown's out.
I actually think this is probably one of the games where Metcalf gets a chance to shine if Sean Johnson's out. Like, I think switch inside and put Volkman in. Now, again, all the teams we're losing to, well, not all, is when they're bringing their young bucks in. Like, maybe it's the Warriors' turn to try some of our youngsters at this kind of time and see what happens. Because from my perspective, I don't think we're going to relax. I think the boys are looking, to be honest, there to play. I think what we're not dealing well with is this young energy coming in with a little bit of spark in them. And I think we even saw it against the Dragons. I think we just kind of diffused it long enough for us to kind of turn it over and then, obviously start playing the points in the second half. I think the Rabbitohs, after some of the Origin boys didn't have the best week, and they came down with a loss, with the form they had. I think these guys had a point to prove, Rabbitohs, and I think they just proved their point. So I'm hoping we've got a point to prove this week.
Yeah. I think that Rabbitohs game was an interview for Origin 3, and and look, I mean, Cody Walker fucking scored his spot because of his main game on Saturday, on Friday. But you could be right, Ty. Actually, I kind of agree with you there that maybe Volkman and Metcalf having two young players in there, some, young bloods in there, carving up that.
I think possibly they're our only option, though, eh? Because outside of those two, who else is there to come into those halves?
Wow, Dylan, that might be Logan's house and Dylan Walker.
Or Ackland in the New South Wales Cup. But I honestly think we've got enough to work with against the Eels. But I think let's just hope, because someone's probably you, Tyson, you're explaining before, going a bit nervous with having not our prime players there. I think this is a chance for our guys to see if they can step up. And
I agree too.
It's a big ask, people. It's a big ask to go over there. When you look at the teams that we lost against, Broncos, Eels, Panthers, Storm, there's a bit of a common theme here, right? And Eels are not Penrith, but they're up there. It's a big ask to go over there and actually win, but I hope the boys can get it done.
It kind of depends on what we're playing with over there too. I think the weather, it probably would have been smarter to have a few big boys up the front at the weekend, because it was just crash and bash. But maybe if it's a bit drier over there, maybe we can run with a little bit of a light pack out there.
Packs will give more opportunities.
I think we should go around and give us a couple of score predictions, I reckon. But first, we'll go to you, Tyson, because you've got the Bulldogs, bro, at home next Saturday. Tough game, that one. It's gonna be a tough one for you guys, bro. But score predictions on that one?
I definitely don't think it'll be another smashing like they just got. But
I do.
I'll turn it around a little bit.
Maybe I'll probably go 20. I'll go 28-12.
Oof.
28-12.
All right.
Foggy's fan will be happy with that.
Yeah, we're good.
But anyway, over to you, Ty. Give us your score prediction for 7:30 p.m. 8th of July going over to Parramatta.
I'm confident we can actually do this. I just hope the boys have short memory. Hey, just put in the past this week, learn from it and go forward. I do hope that if Johnson is out, that we do, whether it be if Tim Martin's not back, Volkman jumps in, but I want to see Metcalf take Shaun Johnson's spot. I've always kind of said that he's probably in line to take his spot once he's out. So let's see it. Let's see what he's got, on the big stage. Have to control the team in a time where probably a lot of us Warriors fans are now rethinking our grand final tickets. So let's see him, see what he's got. But I actually think the boys will do it. Probably be a lot closer, but I'm going for 26-16 to us boys. But I am interested to see who we put on the bench if we do have a few boys out. Obviously, no Neil could have there too. So yeah, just interesting to see if they go with Lussick or go get someone else to kind of rival their forward pack. But I think we'll do the job.
Your score could change after Wednesday, is what you're saying?
It could, but I changed my score last week on Wednesday, and that was the wrong way. So I won't change it. We'll leave it at 26-16, eh?
Nice.
I'll take this one, guys. I was even though I said last week we wouldn't make it 4 out of 4, but I was, I did voice my concerns going over there, and winning's not easy. I can't actually remember the last time we went over there and won. But like you, Ty, I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go for 18-26. These are all hopeful, by the way, right?
Yeah.
We're all fingers crossing here.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be a hard run either way. I reckon we'll win by at least we'll go something like 2018. You know, yeah, I think it'll be a lot closer. And if they beat us, they'll only just beat us. You know, same way. If they beat us, it'll only be by 2. But I'm begging us to win this one.
Nice. I'll go Warriors to win 22-16. 6 point. It's going to be close.
Oh, God. Yeah, for me, it all depends on the team list tomorrow, to be honest. Like, I'm just interested to see who the Parramatta halves will be and what our team, you know, how we're going to line up. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm with the deal. I think it'll be a real close game, and there'll only be 2-4 points in it. So I'm going to go. I might even go fucking 16, 18 Warriors. Because I don't know who's going to be kicking their conversions for Para. So, you know.
Oh, I love the energy in this room compared to last Monday, guys. Last Monday's energy, man. You could like set a fire. You could set a fire off. This energy tonight is like, oh, I hope we don't lose. Last week it was like, we're off to the final. This week is, it's going to be a tight one. And I hope we don't lose.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll lose. I don't think we will. But like I said, it depends on who's lining up, man. Like, we just don't know. With Origin and with SJ not, you know, being there, who's he going to play at the halves? Who's he going to put on the bench? You know, there's heaps of question marks this week.
I think part of me, you know, because I think the game in the weekend attracted a lot of fanfare from the country. You know, I saw they put a whole new stand over there in the east stand just to kind of fit some more people. But I think, you know, going down like that, I think, you know, for those that have just jumped in the bandwagon and go jump off, I'll see you later. You know, I feel like you're here, ride with us. But at the same time, you know, I'll always make sure my predictions are realistic, and I do think realistically we can actually win that game in the weekend. Yeah, we'll see that teamless.
Because out of the three, right? Eels, then we've got Sharks and Raiders at home. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those 2 games. They are really tight together. One's on the 16th, and 5 days later we play the Raiders, so that plays into it. But coming back from Australia with a win will be huge for us. Sorry, Dale.
No, that's all good. I was gonna say too, one of the little things I noticed from Friday night's game, who was the DJ, man? Because fucking the music he was playing, I was thinking, is the DJ a Bunnies fan? Because the songs he was, because it felt like he was playing the sort of music that was geeing up the opposition, and I was just like, come on, man.
I couldn't hear him.
There's a point where Sean Johnson was enjoying it too. He was about to kick off. Yeah. Popping his head, having a good time. I was having a crack up with it.
I was wondering if it was like a...
Could you hear any music, Tans? Because I couldn't.
I could only hear that whatever group was playing on that stage next to the West Stand, and then that, you know, that fucking song that what's that song called? That I'm not even going to try and sing it. I just to drop a beat just there, but I was like, fuck that, no way. It's that old song. Come on, you fellas know what I'm talking about because you would have heard it as well.
Go say us a little bit, and then we might get it.
You don't want to be the ones to fucking try and sing it. You like, no. You know what?
I thought the DJ sucked. I was thinking, is this guy from one of the Super Rugby matches or something? Because it was shit, bro. It was like, Mike, kill the DJ. Just get someone up there that's playing music. Geez, our team up.
Hey, Dale, I think everything about that game sucked for you, brother. And I hope the following games are a little bit more enjoyable, because I think for you, bro, everything was wrong.
I was looking for the silver lining, bro. It was just like, why?
Well, you found it.
Red mist.
You found it, bro. You found it. Our silver lining was we got 6 points.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
The music you guys are hearing was.
Yeah, that's right, bro. Far out.
There's those sound effects like Damien's fucking a couple of weeks ago.
Gunshots.
Yeah.
Gunshots in the
Yeah.
hood. On
No
that note,
drive-bys tonight.
no drive-bys tonight, guys. Guys, on that note, it's going to be an interesting week. I think we're all going to be looking out for that team list. We're all going to be over-analyzing who should play where and what's going to happen. We're going to analyze their team to hell. Because I think it's going to be a bit of a nervy week right up until kickoff at 7:30 p.m. New Zealand time. So
7:30 p.m. kickoff.
Yep, 7:30.
Oh, nice.
Yep, 7:30 p.m. So, Tyson, I'd wish you luck for the Bulldogs, but you don't need it. It would be great if you lost. It would be good if you lost, though, bro. Like, it'll just make my week. It'll make my week if you guys lost like 34-10 or something, right? It will just like 34-12.
To push one of the top 8 teams out of the top 8, eh?
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it happening. But like you said before, who knows? Any team on their day can beat any team in this competition, which is what which is what I love about this competition. I don't really like blowout scores though. That kind of anyway. But like blowout scores kind of show us.
Unless it's the Warriors blowing out those fucking big scores, eh? Then it's all good. All good.
That's right.
And it's all good. But at the iwi, I'll see you guys next Monday. Tyson, again, big mihi to you for coming on here, brother.
Kia ora, bro. Nice meeting you.
Kia ora. You too.
Thank you, bro.
Sharing us your story. And hey, look, anytime you want to come on, have a bit of a kōrero about NRL, cuz no mai haere mai. But at the iwi, hope you guys have an awesome night. Have an awesome week. And no doubt we'll see you guys after Wars, Tyro.
Go the fucking Warriors.